Greetings, my stupendous scholarly students of 7th grade. Little alliteration for you. You're welcome. Here we go. Week 2, ISTEP problem of the week. We got a nice one this week. We're identifying a student's mistakes as they work through a problem and then showing what it actually should look like and what the answer is. But first things first. Yuck. On behalf of ISTEP, I'd like to apologize for their horrendous formatting. So hopefully you did this, but I'm going to show you what I would do with a problem like this. This is the original. So it should say 8x minus 2 times the quantity 4 plus 3x. Do you notice that it's just on the next line? So let's get rid of this. And it's supposed to be 3x. And you know what? Let's just do that for every step before I start. You see this plus 3x is supposed to be here. This 3x minus 8 is supposed to be here. And this minus 8 should be there. Ooh, that's a little nicer. So now let's read through and see this student's mistakes, okay? So that's what the problem should have originally looked like. And everything should have started with expressions, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. Now, let's read the actual problem. A student claims that 8x minus 2 times the quantity 4 plus 3x is equivalent, which means equal to, 3x. The student's steps are shown. And then we get to see all those students' steps. Part A, which means there's a part B. Describe all errors in the student's work. Okay, so here's my advice on this. And by the way, spoiler alert, I'm about to do what part B asks you to do. So on an actual ISTEP problem, you would show your work, what we're about to do, down here where part B is, where we're going to have to scroll. But I'm going to show it here so that you can identify correct work, hopefully if you're doing it, right next to the incorrect work, which helps me see exactly where the mistake occurs. All right? So let's start on the same page. We have the expression 8x minus 2 times the quantity 4 plus 3x. Hey, so far the student's correct. They wrote the problem down wrong. Correctly. They wrote it down correctly. Let's see if they start doing things wrong. Ignore his work or her work, whatever. What would you do next? If I was doing this problem, what would your next step look like? Well, hopefully you identify that we are using the distributive property. Distributive, which means this outside negative 2, careful, that's a negative 2, gets multiplied to both of the inside items in the parentheses. So we'd be left with 8x minus 8 minus 6x. Immediately we find a mistake. Immediately we find a mistake. Look at our correct work. Look at their incorrect work. What do you notice? That's right. They did not. How do they keep it 3x? They didn't do anything to it, which means they did not distribute. Right there is my first part of my answer. In step 1, they didn't distribute the negative 2 to the 3x. Notice something. I'm stating the error. It doesn't say, tell me what it should be. I mean, you can, but the points here are where you state the errors. If you just said, step 1 should be negative 6x, you would get 0 points. You understand? Well, this is very important. The point system that ISTEP uses. You have to do what they say. They want the errors stated, not just tell me what it should be. So if you don't mention what they did wrong, you're not going to get any points. I know that bothers some of you. It's slightly funny to me. But you have to tell me the error, not just what it should be. Okay? Here we go. Let's continue this. Now notice, this is a good skill, and I think your teachers are encouraging you. They do then put their like terms next to each other. What's it mean to be a like term? Same variable or variables and same exponents. So we do see that these can be combined. So I'm going to follow suit. 8x minus 6x minus 8. All right, now I agree that it shouldn't be 3x, but you understand they're not making any mistakes past this so far. They moved that correctly. They haven't done anything mathematically wrong. And then they added, and we're going to do the same. 8x with a negative 6x gives me 2x minus 8. But look what they did last. Ruh-roh. How do you get 11x and a negative 8 to make 3x? They thought you can combine these. We are smarter than that. We know you're done right there. That has an X, that does not. This is the final expression. It can't get broken down any further, but this student claims it can. So that would be their last error. In step 4, they combined 11x and -8, which is not allowed. If you wanted to, you could also make a statement about 11x and -8 are not like terms, therefore you cannot combine them. But again, I'm identifying the mistake. I'm not saying it should be 2x minus 8. Okay, thanks. We know that now, but we're asking, what did this student do wrong? So any problem where it's asking for you to describe errors in a student's work, be more concerned with identifying what they did wrong, not what you did right. Okay? Now, that's what it looks like. Yes, handwriting is still terrible. Former math teacher, don't you judge. Okay? That is how I would go through part A. Now here's the good news. Here's the good news. Remember, look at part B. It's asking, hey, what should it be? You realize we've already done that? Already done that. So let's jump down to part B. I'm going to get rid of all this, but I remember my final answer was 2x minus 8. Part B. If the errors in the student's work are corrected, what would the final expression be? We already did it, so we're just going to write it down. And again, my advice from earlier, all of that work that I showed would have originally been right here if I had the full page to work with. But I blew it up so that you guys could see it a little better. But all my work that I'm showing should have been right here. Final answer, 2x minus 8. How'd you do? Are you showing work? You better be. You better be. If you don't show work, you do not get points. That's how it works, all right? 2 things. Show work. Yeah, I said it already again. And 2, if there's errors, state the errors, not what it should be, okay? Hope it was helpful. Keep learning. 1 more week. We'll learn doing this 1 more week before Christmas break. Keep learning.